Hello friends, it's Indiana Holmes here at Disneyland again on a beautiful December afternoon. It is 80 degrees in Disneyland. That's right, Anaheim, California is 80 degrees, and that is why I live in California. The weather is fantastic, so this is going to make for a great afternoon at Disneyland. Hello friends, it's Indiana Holmes, and today we are going to be treated to a special guided tour by Leo the Gentleman himself. This man is a font of information about the history of the Disney Company and Disneyland, Walt and Roy Disney, Ubi Works, and so much more. It's been my pleasure, it's been my great pleasure to meet Leo, and it's been such a gift that he's given me this time this afternoon to inform me, to teach me, and to enlighten me on so many things Disney related, Disney history, little nuggets of information, little special things here along Main Street and in the park that I never knew before. So come along with Leo and I, and let's learn about some of the Disney history and trivia found here at Disneyland. You heading back down?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Many times.
Awesome. Yeah, how many times do you think you do it in a shift?
Anywhere between 40 and 60.
Wow. 40 and 60.
I don't want to brag, but I only have to look at the map a couple times.
Yeah, you only have to look at the map, right? 40 and 60 times per shift. And how long is the shift?
For 8 hours.
Full 8 hours. Wow.
But we stopped to do the castle show with the band.
Oh yeah, of course, right. How many years have you been driving the fire engine?
I gave the vehicle in 84.
Wow.
And I've been with the park since 73.
I wonder if you've done more miles in this vehicle than on the road going back and forth to home and on trips.
No.
No, you don't think so, huh?
But I think I've driven it more than anybody else now.
What is this, about a quarter-mile trip up and down the street?
Not a fifth.
A fifth of a mile, okay.
998 feet, thereabouts.
998 feet. You've got it down to the feet. That's amazing. Well, I love this old fire engine. It's very cool.
Bob Muir's favorite. He's the one that designed them.
Did he?
And anything that moved at that time. So
Really?
Jopia cars, a lot of them.
Wow.
Yeah, that. All right.
My friend isn't here yet, so there is no real bricks on there
So there's no bricks on the castle.
to make the castle, right?
It's like preformed, like
It was all concrete. They put it up, and then they
they pressed into it like a mold.
Yeah.
You're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
so they just put smooth concrete down,
Right.
and then they pressed it so it has a mold, and it looks like they're
bricks,
stones or
yeah.
bricks or whatever. Wow, that's pretty cool info. I love that. I love learning about all the little things that.
Well, we'll come over here. We'll talk about this, the Holiday Inn.
Okay, what's happening with the Holiday Inn?
You know who it's dedicated to?
I do not.
It's dedicated to Mary Poppins. The Jolly Holiday. It was always a jolly holiday to be with Mary.
The Jolly Holiday.
Right. And from here, you're going to be able to look up, and you'll see the wind thing on the top of there.
Yep.
Who is that?
Well, that sure looks like Mary Poppins to me.
Coming in.
Oh my God, that's fantastic! Thank you for that.
If you go through and look at the stained glass windows, it's all penguins holding food to take it to.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. What's your name, sir?
Leo.
Leo, thank you so much for this information. I love
Well,
it.
you know what? Let's get down to the end, and
All
I'm
right.
walking back this way, and
All
if
right.
you want to follow me, I'll give you a whole bunch of
I love it.
cool
I love it, Leo. That'd be great.
All right.
My wife was a Disney animator for 10 years, starting with The Lion King.
Oh, wow.
And so we fell in love with, we fell in love with Disney when we were kids, but then we
Right.
really fell in love with Disney because when she was working for the company, we had what they called silver passes. They gave us these passes.
Right.
We could come every day if we wanted to and bring 3 people with us. It was fantastic. So we've been a Disney family ever since. Now, of course, we buy our own passes, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. Back here at these guys.
And you know, you're supposed to ring the bell if you're sitting.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Just
At any time?
Right, go for it. There you go.
That's awesome. That's the other thing I love about coming to Disneyland is meeting people like yourself, just meeting other people. The other night when they had the processional, I met a woman and her son and her brother from Utah. And we had like a 2-hour conversation, walking around and enjoying the processional together. Okay, I'm here today with Leo, and Leo's going to give us a little bit of Disney history.
Okay, so when Walt started building Disneyland, the city of Anaheim came out and asked him what street numbers he would like.
Okay.
And Walt said, I'll take 1313. And everybody goes, Walt, why would you take 2 unlucky numbers? He goes, I did not take unlucky numbers. The 13th letter of the alphabet is M. I was looking at it as MM for Mickey Mouse.
That's awesome.
Okay. So when Walt started going, he made the map. You know, the map that took 24 or 48 hours to make, and they did it there, the very first one. Well, there was a pamphlet that went with it. And Walt said, these are the 3 reasons that you should invest in Disneyland.
Right.
I want to give you a chance to try to figure out one of them.
Wow, that's a tough one. 3 reasons to invest in Disneyland.
Okay, don't worry. Most people don't. Number 1, he wanted to create a place for clean family entertainment that you felt good to bring your grandparents and kids to.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, but everybody thought it was like Coney Island, where that was
it's a different thing.
He did not want that.
No.
Number 2, he said that he wanted to create a place for merchandise. He said after he created Mickey Mouse, 6 months later, he had 125 licenses for Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
And so he knew that Disneyland would be a place to go.
Yeah.
But the third one, and I honestly, truly believe it was the most important thing to Walt, is he wanted to create a living museum. So let's see how successful it is. When you passed through the gate, what was the first ride you saw?
Well, we saw the Disneyland Railroad.
Right. In 1955, all railroads were diesel. Walt wanted a steam one because he wanted teachers to come in, bring their kids, see what a steam train looks like, and to ride it.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing is Main Street. Main Street is based on the year 1901. Why 1901?
Turn of the century, 1901. Was that when he and his brother formed their company?
No. Walt was born in the year 1901.
That was when they were born, right?
But the idea of Main Street was that your grandparents could go down there and say, oh, look, here's Upjohn. This is where I got my vitamins from. This is the type of everything that you saw as they saw growing up, they were now showing their grandkids.
So they were preserving the memories of their childhood, essentially.
Right. Or a museum.
Yes, right.
So the next one you would do is you would go into Adventureland.
Yep.
The ride in Adventureland was the Jungle Cruise. Now, the Jungle Cruise was not a comedy routine until 1958-59.
Oh, okay.
What it was is you went down the river and you saw the different types of animals you would have found if you were on that river.
A true adventure.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to go to Frontierland. To get into Frontierland, you have to go through a fort. You have your wood sidewalks, and if you look on the ground, you'll see the
footprints, right?
Footprints and the wagon wheels.
And the wagon wheels. I've seen that in the concrete a little bit.
Right,
yeah,
and that was the reason. It was supposed to be dirt. It was supposed to be there, but you couldn't have dirt there.
Right.
And then at the end, you have the Mark Twain. Now, I know the Mark Twain is literature, but what he was looking at is this was a riverboat going down the Mississippi, and it had cotton on it. So he wanted you to picture that's what you were seeing as you were going down the Mark Twain.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Fantasyland was pretty easy because what he did is he just did whatever movies he was doing.
Right.
Oh, there it was. Tomorrowland was Mission to the Moon. Walt wanted to make sure he did good on it, so he invited all the people from NASA to go on it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they all get on it. After it's over, the head dude from NASA comes running over, almost knocking over Walt, and says, "You son of a bitch." He goes, "All these years I've been trying to tell somebody what it would be like to go to the moon, and you did it in 13 minutes." He goes, "I'll never explain it again. I'll tell them to come out here and take a look at that."
That's something else. That's amazing. That's such a cool little nugget, right?
Right. You guys having fun? Why did Mickey Mouse go to outer space? He wanted to find Pluto. Here, there are 4 hidden Mickey. Actually, I think they took one of them down. I had 3 hidden Mickeys. Take a look at that orange flag on the far left.
Oh, yeah.
If the wind was blowing,
we'd see a Mickey.
You would see a Mickey on it. Now on the other side is another one. And if you come over here, look where the City Hall is.
There's another one.
There used to be another one over by the fire department. but I looked at it this morning and I didn't see it. Okay, so this is what it would look like if the wind was blowing.
See that? There you go. That's what it looks like. There it is.
All right.
There's always something new. It's like no matter how many times I've been here, there's always something new. And meeting somebody like you who has special knowledge that you've acquired over the years, it makes it so much more fun.
All right, we're going to go this way. The City Hall was the second building built here. The first one is Mr. Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
Why the Mr. Lincoln was that's where their sawmills were, where they build everything.
Oh,
this
really?
was an opportunity to have offices, and then to the right was for Walt's apartment.
Yeah. He had an apartment above that, I believe, right?
Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. This is called a survey marker. This is type number 2. I'll show you type number 1 in a minute.
Okay.
There's one here.
Yeah.
If you stay on the concrete and you go all the way around, there's another one on the other
kidding.
side. But we're not going to do that. We're going to continue to go.
Sure.
All right. Walt's apartment. That bar that was inside there used to go all the way up to the apartment, and Walt wanted everybody to go down it. But there was one problem. A 15-year-old kid shimmied up, and Walt was in the apartment. He goes, I can't have this.
Oh, no.
So they had to seal it off.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. A 15-year-old kid, my gosh. Nobody would have thought that, right?
Right. Okay, so this pole right here, the base of it was actually a street light in New York. Not New York, in L.A.
Really? A street lamp, huh?
And it got hit by a car, was knocked over.
Yeah,
one of the Imagineers said that would be a perfect base for our flag. So he had to go the next day. They cut the thing off, gave it to him for $5.
Oh my gosh, and look at how beautiful it is. And they preserved it, and it's a piece of history now.
So after that happened, Walt told the guy to go back and buy as many of these bases as you can.
Yeah.
So if you look at the base for Disney World, and you'll see it's the same thing, but it's painted gold.
Oh, wow.
I cannot prove that was the same type of deal, but that definitely
sounds like it was, right?
Right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go this way.
All righty. Leo, you are a wealth of information.
Well,
I really appreciate the time you're giving me.
Yeah.
Well, we all know a little bit of something, but not many of us know everything, and you seem to know a lot more than most.
Well, the thing is, I strive to try to do that, and I'm looking for the one I can't find. I'm almost.
There's another one.
So this is still type 2.
Type 2, right there.
Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? It's called a survey marker.
Oh, yeah. My husband's a land surveyor.
Right. And so what they do is they set up a tripod that had a string at that time to go down, and that's that little hole right there. They knew they were centered. Then they knew how far left or right they could go or how up and down. But now I want to show you type 1, and this one's going to blow you away. You know type 1?
I don't know a lot. I just know that he's a land surveyor.
Now these buildings, as you go down the street, get lower and lower and lower. That gives you that forced perception.
Oh yeah,
castle to go up.
Yeah.
And I want to show this one, and then I'll give a little more explanation.
Yeah, that sounds like a very important fact.
This is type 1.
Oh my gosh, right there.
And look, it even says survey.
Right on it.
Okay. This was put in before, am I in your way?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
This was put in before there was any dirt, any buildings, whatever. Went straight down, and at the end of the plaza there's another one. And there were like 6 of them that went down the street so that they could drive down and know how much they could go from one side to the other.
Okay.
This was type 1. There are 2 of these still markers available. This one and the one at the very end.
I see.
All right.
And before they started doing all of their groundwork, before they started doing all the construction, was this all orange fields, or what was it exactly?
Orange field, walnuts, what have you.
Okay.
Now, there's a famous story that They went out and spray painted the ones they wanted to leave.
Oh.
And there was one that they did red for to be cut. And this guy started cutting them all. I don't believe it. And here's the reason why. There would have been a supervisor to see that he was doing something wrong. Bring it back.
I think so.
Okay, so in the magic shop here, we have 3 hidden Mickeys.
3 hidden Mickeys.
Well, we're going to count this one out here at number 4. To see if you can find a hidden Mickey in these cards down below here.
Okay, let's see with my old eyes if I can even find the hidden Mickey. Boy, it's got to be in the face card there, but I cannot.
No, not the face card.
Not the face card.
Looks like an 8.
Oh, it's the 3. It's the number 3.
No, it's the ace. Look at
the ace. Okay, the ace really does look like one. Yeah. Let me just look at it closer. Oh.
And see, I always make my people look for them because
yeah.
it makes it more interesting.
Sure.
So while we're in here, there's a hidden Mickey in this cabinet.
Okay, I would say it's the rope.
That's correct.
That one was easy.
Still one more.
Okay.
You have to look up for that one.
Oh my gosh. That is going to be tough. I see it. It's the ace again.
Mickey up here in the ace. And seeing it's your birthday, there's a hidden Mickey in here. In this cabinet right here. There you go. Very good. Oh, I gave you one joke already, right?
Yes.
Okay, here's another one. Where does Peter Pan like to go to lunch?
Where?
Wendy's.
Those are good. Those are really...
Okay, so by 1964, they were getting ready to do the World's Fair.
Sure.
Disney had a contract with Ford, which we would have called the People Mover.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Lincoln, and the Carousel of Progress, which was by GE. None of this technology had been built yet. Okay, so they had to find a way to do this.
Yeah.
So Disney went to the companies that were sponsors and said, hey, you got to give us money so we can figure out how to make this work.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah, and there's another thing. After the World's Fair is over, I'm taking it back to Disneyland with me. So not only did he get the money to create it, he got the money to take it back and he didn't have to pay for it.
That's a smart businessman.
That's a smart
creative thinking there.
So another guy came in from Pepsi and said, hey, can you help us out with our exhibit? And the guy, Walt was not there. The guy behind the counter goes, are you kidding? We've got, and I just went through all of them. He goes, there's just no way. Well, Joan Crawford bumps into Disney, Walt Disney, and says, I'm sorry, you guys couldn't do anything for us. And he goes, what? And he goes, tell them to come on down. We'll take a look at it. We'll make it work.
Was Joan Crawford the spokesperson at that time for?
Joan Crawford was the chair, one of the chair people for Pepsi.
Okay.
She comes in, and Pepsi was doing UNICEF, the Children of the World. So their idea was have each of the countries do their national anthem, but it was not working. They're really stuck.
Yeah.
So Annette had a guy, these brothers that worked on all her songs.
Annette Funicello?
Yes.
Okay.
And so Walt tells her, tell the kids to come on in, because they were very young, to come out there to see if they can work on the song. So they did work on a song, and if you look on the keyboard, you'll see what the song was.
And the keyboard says it's a small original idea that wasn't working with Pepsi, eventually became Small World, which we all love today.
That was still sponsored by Pepsi.
And those were the 2 brothers that did it, I guess, Richard M. Sherman and Robert B. Sherman.
Okay, so now what I want you to do is read the line below the piano.
We'll write your tunes for a song. Oh, wow, good double entendre, right?
Right. Now here's the other thing.
Richard and Robert.
Right. They were not under contract.
Oh.
But they wanted to impress Walt. So they go up to Walt and Walt, all the money we get for the song as it's being played, the royalties, we want to donate it to UNICEF.
That's
and Walt goes, the hell you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes, that's going to pay for your houses, your vacations, and your kids going to college. Now, I think it's Richard, who is still alive, gets up there and he tells that story, and at the end of it, he goes, you're going to either hate me or love me for it, but we still get money every time it's played.
Wow.
It is the #1 song broadcast in the world.
Wow.
Because how many times is it sung on It's a Small World? Just as you go around, every time you hear It's a Small World, It's a Small World, they're getting money.
Wow.
Same thing in Florida. Same thing in all the other parks that have It's a Small World in there.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Wow. So yeah, Walt was pretty smart to take care of these guys.
Yeah, right.
They had good golden hearts.
Right.
But in reality, this was a better deal for them and their kids and their families
Right.
forever.
Right. Okay, so we're going to come over here and talk about this Indian.
Oh yeah. Does he still hold a cigar?
You know, they cut him out.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have a cigar. I think as a kid, I remember he had a cigar right there in that hand, right?
I have been looking for a picture. Okay, he is here because there were a lot of people at the turn of the century who could not read and what have you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what they wanted to do is say, hey, if you see the Indian out here, this is where we would sell tobacco. Here were the tobacco shops of Disney until the 1990s.
The tobacco shops were what we now have as the music company, the 20th Century Music Company. So they actually did sell tobacco.
Yes.
And there was smoking here at Disney.
Right.
You know, I can't remember because as a kid, we only came here a few times and I wasn't looking for smokers. And I think it was so common back then, we didn't even think about it, right?
You're so correct.
Yeah, I mean, people were smoking like crazy back though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want you to notice is where's Tilly from?
What's that?
Where is Tilly from?
Tilly. Well, she's from Marceline, Missouri. Now, is that where Walt was born?
Not born, but that's where he grew up.
That's where he grew up. Okay, gotcha.
All of this that you see here, the cookies and stuff, oh, I guess they had to have somebody added. But before things, the glass was there, people would put things like that.
Oh, really? So now they just have them there. So Marceline, Missouri. He probably had memories of going to a movie theater as a child in Marceline.
Yes. Did you know it's Mickey Mouse's birthday today?
I did.
Okay. You know whose else's birthday it is today?
Isn't it Walt's also?
No.
No? Oh, shoot.
Bang. Minnie Mouse.
It's also me. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. Now that you say it.
But you know what? They never advertised that it was hers as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about Steamboat Willie.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going to go about 4 or 5 months prior to that.
Okay.
At that time, they were doing Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Okay. And it was going really well.
Now, was that for Silly Symphonies, which he didn't own?
No, that was before that.
Before that, even.
Yeah. So Walt was feeling really good, goes to New York to try to get like a 10% raise, and the guy says, hell no, we're going to take and give you a 10% decrease in the amount of money.
Oh my gosh,
and not only that, we own the rights to Oswald. And after you do the next 2 shorts, which were cartoons, then that character's coming back to us. Okay, so now Walt comes back. He's got to make 2 more shorts of Oswald, and he's got to find a new character to make it work. So him and iWorks get together, and they go through, and they were looking at a giraffe. They did not want a bear or a cat because you already had Felix the cat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you had to find something that would work. And so what happens is they come up with the idea of a mouse. There were 2 things they were really concerned with. One, would they accept the mouse to be the size of a small child?
Yeah.
And number 2, would females be afraid when they see it? Because at that time, you know, mice would have been something that you didn't get going there. Okay, so now they come back and they're going to work on a mouse. Walt has all his animators in a room. He puts Ub in another room. They lock the door so nobody walks in on them. Ub kept a couple of things of Oswald on his desk in case somebody came in, he could just slide that over.
Sure.
But his main job was to do Mickey Mouse. Okay, so what happens is Ub could do somewhere between 600 to 700 cells a day. So anyways, have you heard of ink and paint department?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, the ink part of ink and paint is you get a cell, and it's done in brown, and then you take an ink, and then you put the black lines on it, because the brown does not show on a cell onto camera.
Sure.
It has to be black.
Sure.
So that's where the black comes in. The paint comes in when you were painting it in, but it wasn't used on these. So they get out there. Ub is doing 600 of these Most animators could only do about 125. And as he's got that done, Walt and Roy have to take these home and do the ink part because nobody else was supposed to know anything about it.
Yeah, right.
So can you imagine going home and you have to do about 300
after working all day?
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so they get this done. The very first one that they put out is this cartoon over here called Plane Training. Now, at this point, nobody heard anything about Mickey Mouse. It was just another character. So when they presented it, it was no big deal.
Sure.
So they didn't pick it up. Same thing happened with the second one. The third one, Walt wanted to have sound to it. And so you have to understand, he's losing 10 or 20% from Oswald. That was his only income on that. And now he has to do this at a cost for $500 for the sound to be put on. The sound has to match perfectly because they didn't know how to splice it in at that time. Okay, so now what happens? They get it all together, they bring it out, and they run it, and it's off.
Oh, no.
Now, to give you an idea, there's no money in the Disney company whatsoever at this time.
Right.
Walt turns around and sells his car for the $500 that he's going to need to do this.
Gosh.
And Ub saves the company because Ub comes up there and puts a red dot where the music is supposed to play so that the people in the band know what's going on, where the beat is and everything else. Now, if this doesn't work, there will never be a Disney company.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? It works. They turn around and it goes out. And they make money off it. Big money. Because everybody wants it. There's actually a song out there called What? Oh, I want you to see the bottom there. See, it says Of Iworks.
Oh yeah, right there. So they start making money off of Steamboat Willie.
He had to hire the best.
Yeah,
best was Ub. So he pays Ub to come out from Marceline to California to work on these. And he's also given 20% of the company. Most people don't realize that he owned 20% of the company.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so what happens as time goes on, Walt stops putting his name at the end of these on the ones that he's working on. And that gets him upset.
He just starts putting Walt Disney Studios.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to say, here it is.
I mean, yeah, that's really important. Even today, you know, the unions for the actors and the directors and everybody, they want those credits in there.
So at the other point is, we'll say that it takes normally 10 seconds to do a gag.
Yeah.
Walt wanted Ub to cut it down to 7.
Okay.
Ub says, you don't understand. Okay, here comes the credits here again. Steamboat.
And it says Walt Disney comic, right? There we go. Walt Disney comic by Ub Iwerks, right? Steamboat Willie.
Ub is now upset because it's impossible to make this work.
Oh gosh.
So he decides he's going to leave. Walt goes to New York. Ub goes into Roy's office and says, I got to get out of here. I can't take this anymore. Well, Roy said, you're going to have to sell back your 20%.
Oh.
So he sold back his 20% for about $2,900.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now if Ub was able to keep that and never sell any of it, it would have been worth $25 billion today.
Oh my gosh.
This window is dedicated to anybody who has worked for Disney or will work for Disney in the future. There are 2 hidden Mickeys in this frame. Do you see them?
There's one here at the bottom.
Right.
And there's one here at the top.
Very good.
I've never noticed them before. You just asked me to point them out, right?
Okay, what I want you to do is, you might be able to get it and just come back to it. I'll look at it later.
Yeah.
But you need to read the job descriptions of these people. Okay?
Okay. That sounds like something that we really do need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times you walk around and you don't realize the importance of the things that are around you. That there's so much information and detail put into the smallest things here in the park. It's crazy.
Okay, now this is one of 3 things that I had some influence on.
Okay.
You see this box up here?
Sure.
It's locked now, but it used to be open. And And what people would do is there would be a paper in there, and you put your name and the date that you were here, and you put it back.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm walking down the street. There's a girl putting her hand in there.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
Okay.
And I said to her, I said, okay, so what are you doing? And she explained what I just told you. And I said, oh, okay. So I went home, and on maybe 2 web pages, I asked the question, does anybody know any information about this? I swear to God, in less than a week, I probably had close to 300 likes.
Oh my gosh.
At least 20 to 30 people explaining what it is. A month later, they came by and put a lock on it. So,
Oh.
window there.
Yeah, I can see it says Ron Dominguez.
Okay, a little bit of an angle might get a better shot. Okay, so let's talk.
Yeah, I think from my angle, I don't have the glare. I think where you're standing, you have the glare.
All right, this has happened is the Dominguez family owned the orange trees and stuff like that. They
Land
had,
here, huh?
They had about 17 acres.
He was like, stop.
And Walt went up to try to get them to sell it.
Yeah.
And so what happens is they said they would be happy to sell it to you under 2 conditions. Condition number 1, you need to have a job for my son. He just graduating from college.
Okay.
And number 2, you have to leave the Dominguez tree up.
Oh, over in Adventureland, right?
Yes, that is the Dominguez tree. And so they said they would do it.
That's nice.
If you see the wording on there, is we'll take care of it like it's your property.
We'll take care of your property as if it were our own. Ron Dominguez, owner.
Yeah.
Orange Grove Property Management. So that was probably the original name of the Orange Grove, or?
Well, it was owned by that family.
Okay.
I don't know if that was the name of it, but that was the name of the family.
So was Ron Dominguez the son then, or the father? The
son.
That was the son,
Right.
and so he came to work for.
So Ron Dominguez started selling tickets. He moved to management on Main Street.
Okay.
He moved to management in Frontierland.
Okay.
Then he became vice president of Disneyland.
Wow, that's a fantastic thing.
Right, but he wasn't given it. He earned
Oh,
it.
sure, yeah. He worked his way up from ticket taker.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to tell you about Walt's grandson, Ron Miller,
Okay.
later on.
Okay.
Okay.
I did have an opportunity to meet and speak with Roy Disney Jr.
Oh, did you?
back in the day when my wife was working there, and he was an interesting guy.
Yeah, I bet.
His passion was sailing, and the Disney company and sailing.
I see.
He won a lot of Transpac races where they raced across the world on these big, multi-million-dollar sailboats.
Now, this is something I just learned recently.
Okay.
Here's what I think is the smallest hidden Mickey
my gosh.
in the It was here in Disneyland for I don't know how long, but
There it is. Clarabelle's, and if you look carefully, folks, you will see there's a hidden Mickey in the spots on the Clarabelle cow on this milk bottle. Isn't that cool?
Okay, so this is the famous wall of Disney.
The Wall of Disney, okay.
If you look at this, it looks like there are just 2 different types of bricks.
Yeah.
This one and that one.
There's kind of a straight one and a wobbly one, right?
Well, this one here would have represented very early,
Okay.
and that would have represented more. But there are actually 2 different types of bricks here.
Yeah.
See this one, how rough it is? But
Oh,
if you
yeah.
come down here,
Oh my
you'll
gosh.
see how smooth it is.
It's smooth here and rough there. And then over here, you got kind of a wobbly brick on the right-hand side of the water fountain. And on the left-hand side, they're very straight.
Now, I said there was 4. There's 1, there's 2, this is 3. This is 4. This was a new concept of putting this on the side of buildings.
Gotcha.
If you look at, like, the train station on Main Street,
Okay.
you'll see that this is put in there.
Oh, I see.
This was just to find out what would work and
What
what
would work and what wouldn't. I love this little street in here.
You know the name of this street?
I do not know. What is the name of this street,
This is
Leo?
Center Street.
Center Street?
Right, because it's the center between this side of the buildings and this side of the buildings, and this goes right in here.
Very good.
Okay, I'm going to show you another hidden Mickey,
Okay.
and then I'm going to show you the second thing that I had some influence on Disney on. Right here,
Okay.
and look at the bracket that holds the wheel.
Okay, the bracket that holds the wheel.
Go up
The green part?
Yes.
The green part, which is like
Come down
square
a little,
steel?
Come down a little. Okay, right there.
Oh, there's another hidden Mickey. Gotcha. There's another hidden Mickey in there, guys.
That's what you're looking for.
Awesome. Nice.
Okay, so this is the next thing I had some influence on Disney.
Okay.
I worked for the post office.
Okay.
And I worked in supply and property management. And when they went out, they got rid of all these type of boxes.
Oh, yeah.
They were in my basement.
Oh, my gosh, you're kidding.
So Disney talks to the post office and says, do you have any of these? Well, people knew I had them. And they came by and said that they want like 15 of them. And I said, I can't give them to you because it was just something out saying that before you can give them out, you have to get permission from the district.
Oh, okay.
So I told these guys, you got to go get permission.
Because it's like federal property or something, right?
Right, because this is property of the post office.
Gotcha.
It was. Okay, so now they come out and they took, because these were red and blue, sandblasted, put it up, and came out with the green.
It came out with that kind of green that kind of matches the pole that it's on, right?
I want to show you the window that was dedicated to the son, the grandson of Diane and Ron. Christopher, there we go.
Christopher Miller,
Right.
okay.
And if you look at any of the early pictures with Walt, with his grandson, that's Christopher. Now, Christopher worked in the animation department as an assistant.
Okay.
So I'm telling this, there's a girl who's working film, taking classes at Chapman. So she goes, you mean he was the senior gopher? And I said, you said it, but not me. So if you look up here, you see Christopher Miller.
Oh, yeah.
There's a pain in the rear end. So guess what? Guess where they put him?
They
Come
put
down a little bit. Come down. Right there.
They put him right over the gentlemen's restrooms. And it's funny because below that it says Turkish baths, but the reality is he's right over the toilets. Oh my gosh, he's been immortalized.
Right. Now I want to show you another hidden Mickey.
Okay.
And this one is probably one of the cooler ones, but you have to catch it at the right time.
Oh. Catch it at the right time.
We're going to watch the train, see what happens. Okay, see?
Oh, there it is. It's in the water tower.
Yeah.
I would never know that if you didn't point that out to me.
I know.
No way you could ever know.
So what I'm going to tell you is that only happens every time, the third time around the track.
Okay.
Because that's when it needs to get more water, and when it gets more water, it turns on.
So they try to give it a little bit of realism.
Right.
That's neat.
If you look at all the toys, these are toys from different movies
Oh.
from Disney.
Wow. And there's a lot of them. Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
All right. You lucked out.
I did luck out.
On the last flip.
I lucked out with you, my friend.
Uh-huh.
This is such a beautiful little area over here. Back out here on Main Street, right next to the Carnation Cafe, getting my private tour with the wonderful Leo, a font of knowledge about Disneyland and the Walt Disney Company. When did you first start coming to Disneyland, Leo?
Right around 1960, 61. That's when we moved out here.
Okay. And where did you guys move from?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, so in these letters, there's one letter here that has a hidden Mickey.
And you are pointing right at it, my friend, right there. The floats right there. There's the hidden Mickey.
Funny. Showing them where it's at. Okay, we're going to wander out here on Main Street, if we can find a spot.
Okay, we are on.
When Walt was trying to get money, he knew he had to have a TV sponsor.
Okay.
So the number one TV sponsor at that time was CBS.
Oh.
You know, we're not interested.
Oh, boy.
Number two was NBC. NBC says, we don't want another Coney Island. ABC was almost in bankruptcy.
Really?
Yeah, so ABC said that they would do it, but he has to do a show once a week.
So the Wonderful World of Walt Disney, is that how that came about?
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's neat.
Yes. And they gave him $500,000 and co-signed for like a $3 million loan.
Okay.
Okay. So this was going on, and it was actually going very well.
Yeah.
So it's from 1955 to 1970.
Okay.
Now they want to buy it back. It was 7 years. So they figured that the value of the company was about $5 million at that time.
Okay.
So now they bring in the people from ABC, and ABC knows why they're there.
Yep.
They get in here and they get going, and Roy goes, "We could never thank you enough for what you did. We want to offer you $7 million for $1 million a year that we had your money."
Wow.
So if you were hoping for 5 and you got 7, you know what? You signed on
So
to
this
that.
was the payback for the loan
Right.
and the investment.
Right.
And the investment dollars, did they go towards Disneyland or towards something else in the Disney company
No,
exactly?
it would have probably been, well, it went into Disney company.
Disney company, and then
I don't know where the money,
they just used it for what they needed to.
well, when they got the money from ABC, that was to build Disney.
Okay,
To pay the money back, I don't know where that came
I
from.
see.
But to thank them, they wanted to make sure that they were known. So if you turn around and you see the right window on the right,
It says ABC on it, doesn't it?
see shorthand,
Wow.
come next to it is ABC typing.
Yep.
And over here you can't see it, but it's also an ABC. Okay.
Wow.
And this was their thank you to them for loaning them the money.
And you know, the irony is that Disney ended up buying ABC and now owns ABC.
Yeah, but
You know,
there's
decades and decades later.
yeah, but there's another story that goes with that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So yes,
I'm all ears.
Disney wants to buy ABC. They buy it, but Disney says they're not going to do sports on ABC.
Oh, right, right.
Okay. So, but they still have the contract with Al Michaels
Right?
under their belt. So NBC is saying, "Hey, we like to get Al Michaels back." And Disney goes, "Well, you have something that we want, and we have something that you want. We will trade you Al Michaels for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit."
Oh my gosh, you're kidding. That's how they get Oswald back.
That's how they got him back.
Oh my god.
But the funny thing goes, a few years later, Al Michaels is being interviewed, and he said, "Well, what did you think of that trade?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "To think a freaking rabbit took first place on it. I was second. It was Pop Billy."
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So there is a hidden Mickey on this wood panel.
Hidden Mickey on the wood panel. Wow, this is one's a little bit tougher. Maybe in the lettering?
You went too far. Go down.
Oh, it's right there. I was looking. I was thinking they've really hidden it. They didn't hide it so much, except for my old eyes. They hid it, right?
Okay, so I don't know how many I've shown you right now, but I'm going to blow your mind. On
Okay,
this one.
okay.
What I want you to do is count them for me.
Oh no.
All right. Right here.
There's 1, 2,
See it?
3, 4. Oh, there's too many.
Well,
There.
you need to count it so I could tell my next tour how many there are.
Oh my gosh, we'll be here until till Thanksgiving next year. Counting that
Remember,
many.
I told you that Main Street was based on the year 1901.
Right.
There was an argument that said, no, it was 1910. And I said, well, if it's 1910, why in Cove Corner on this map, this calendar right
Says
here,
1901, right there.
1901.
It says April 1901,
So
right
if I
there.
was to say that they opened in 1910, why do they have a 1901 calendar?
Exactly.
They also have a 1902 calendar here, but they didn't put any others up because they didn't have any more space for it. But 1901 is the one that it goes.
That kind of seals the deal right there.
Right,
I think
right.
so.
But it doesn't. I've got one more for you.
Okay.
Now, do you know about the famous light bulb up in the front here?
I do not know about the light bulb. I want to know about the light bulb.
But I'm going to give you the second famous light bulb
Okay.
because we don't want to have that come back. If you look right here in the corner,
Oh yeah.
you'll see it's half red, half white.
Half red, half white, right there.
For 7 years, they were all red.
Oh.
Both of them were red.
Yeah.
And what I believe happened is somebody did not realize it was half red, half white, and just put a red one in there, and it just stayed that way. And so she's really looking at it. I come back next month, and that's the month of COVID.
Oh God, yes.
I was doing it on Wednesday. On Friday, they closed everything down. come out here on Wednesday, I'm giving my tour, and I go, oh my God, they changed it. And this piano is the most played keyboard in piano. Now the thing is, this is the famous light bulb.
Oh yeah, there we go. There it is.
They did red light. Walt realized it's going to be 2 red lights. And he goes, I can't have that.
No.
You need to come up with a solution.
Yeah.
Well, their solution was to paint it half red, half white.
Well, that was pretty smart.
Yeah, it's genius, right? So here I've been going up there as a kid. I kept thinking, man, they have to pick up a lawnmower to go on the other side to cut this. I never realized it, but now it's really easy to spot.
Oh, look at that. There's actually a little latch. That's okay. You don't have to latch it.
Yeah.
I can see.
But that's how they
A
got
little hidden latch.
Right. And if you look, they're all over the place.
Oh,
okay?
sure.
But as a kid, I never noticed it, okay?
Right, because we're always looking up at like the Matterhorn, or we're looking at the Astro Orbiter or something. We don't look for these little details. And all those little design elements are so important for the form and the function of the park.
Okay, so I started talking about the Jolly Holiday, right? Being dedicated to Mary Poppins. And
We have a place.
Yeah. Thing on the top.
Oh, it's crazy. They just.
Oh yeah, the windmill of there it is. I don't know if the sun is gonna make it possible, but yeah, there we go, right there. Yeah, there it is, Mary Poppins.
The windows have Mary Poppins, the penguins serving lunch.
Sure. Leo, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been here with Leo Gentleman, the gentleman that he is, and he is a font of information on Disney, and I just love everything you had to say. Thank you so much, my friend.
You're welcome. How much did you learn?
A lot. A lot. Cruella de Vil. Cruella is one of my favorite villains of all time. She is such a cool cookie.
Do you want a photo shoot done?
There she is.
Tell me your name. Say it again. Oh, Katie, of course you are. Oh, cheerio, darling. Yeah, my people will call your people about the puppy. Yeah, we'll talk more later. Oh, I've got one. Now, Katie, talk to me about the hat. Are you a fashionista? Are you into fashion?
Yeah.
Tell me everything. Tell me about the hat.
I bought it from North Face.
All right. I think the texture is rather interesting. Do you know, someone asked me recently, they said, Cruella, I know that you like puppies, but what about sheep?
Do you like sheep?
A renewable source, if you will. But I don't know. I don't think I like puppies because, you know, they're fun and easy. I like them because they're simple. So, anyway, all that to say, this reminds me of that. Is it sheep? You don't know? I don't know. Is that it? Maybe llama? I don't know. But I think it's fabulous nonetheless.
Thank you.
Now, okay, for the coming trends. And then we'll take a picture. Because you clearly must be famous. Look at all the paparazzi you have. All the cameras on us now. Now, Katie, what do you think about any exciting trends coming this season? What do you think?
Say red and green.
I suppose that's true. It is everywhere. And I guess very fashionable people have sort of figured that out. Red and green.
Yeah.
But, well, all right then. You've been very useful. Shall we do a photo shoot together? It's all right then. Come over here. Now, we're going to start looking at this photographer and then make our way this way. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. And the next camera, go.
That was Cruella de Vil, and you can see why she's one of my favorites. Oh, look, here comes the double-decker bus.
Vámonos, señora Santiago.
All decked out for Christmas. Fantastic. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications button. Thank you very much.